Okay, so let's all do this. The other option would have been to multiply the bottom equation by 4. What would that eliminate? If I choose to multiply everything here by 4, we would have, yeah, we would have -4 and +4, and that would eliminate. But it's a little easier to just multiply by 2. So let's do that. So today it's all about making choices. And I'd rather multiply through by a smaller number. So let's multiply the bottom equation by 2. Okay? And so I keep 8x plus 4y equals 20. My new equation here is negative 8x minus 2y equals negative 30. Okay? And now we can get rid of these opposites. And we have 2y equals negative 10. Okay? So what's going to be my answer for y? 2 times something is negative 10. Yeah, negative 5. So we got one of our values already. Okay, so now we have to pick an equation, any one of these, to do that. Even our new one. Let's do that. Let's pick this new equation. Okay, and what I'm going to do on that equation is I'm going to replace y with negative 5. So let's do that. Negative 8x minus, not 2 times y, but now since we know y is negative 5, do that, equals negative 30. Okay? So let's see what that gives us. Negative 8x. We got a negative times a negative, so that's plus 10 equals negative 30. Okay? So let's get rid of the 10. And I get negative 8x equals negative 40. So x has to be 5. So we got 5, negative 5. Okay, so our solution is 5, negative 5. Okay. How do we know it's true? I could go back, not going to, but I can go back and in both equations replace x and y with 5 and negative 5. And on this top one, it would equal 20. On the bottom one, it would equal negative 15. Okay? And that's the only ordered pair that would work in both. Okay? Any questions? All right. So multiplying by 2 was the fix there. Let's try this one. Number 2. Okay. Again, we're going to look for a number other than negative 1 that would work. Okay. So let's do 8x plus 5y equals negative 1. And then 4x plus 7y equals negative 23. Okay. Now, let's take a look at this. And I think there's one that's real easy to just multiplying one number and it would get you to eliminate one of the variables. The other one is much harder. And it's something for tomorrow. So study your coefficients. you have 8 and 4. Here you got 5 and 7. And we want them to be opposites. You want a positive and a negative of the same absolute value. Yes? Yeah, that's the easy one. Just multiply by -2 on the bottom, and hopefully just start looking for the tricks like that. -2 here would make that -8, and then those would go away. Look at 5 and 7. What's the problem with 5 and 7? Yes? They're odd numbers. They're, what's it called? Prime numbers. Nothing, they don't have a common factor. So the only way we would fix that is multiply both of them. If we really want to get rid of y's, we would have to multiply the top by 5, the bottom by, the top by 7, the bottom by 5, and one of those two numbers has to be negative. Okay? Because that's the only way you would get -35 and +35. So that's the one we want to avoid, unless we have to. Sometimes we have to. So let's do that. Multiply the bottom by -2. Okay? Let's see what that gives us. Well, again, the top stays the same. 8x plus 5y equals -1. And then -8x minus 14y equals positive 46. Okay. And do we eliminate? We sure do, right there. 8x and -8x, when we add those, gone. Okay. So now we've got 5 and -14. What's that going to be? -9y equals, that works out nicely because this is 45. So -9 times something is positive 45. What's that going to be? -5. Okay. So we got -5 for y. All right. Pick an equation, any equation. But this one looks easy, right? We got an 8 and a 5 and -1. You want to try that one? I think so too. Let's take this one, replace y with -5. So it's going to be 8x plus 5 times -5 equals -1. Okay? So let's see. That's going to be -25. So 8x minus 25 equals -1. Okay? Let's get rid of this 25 or minus 25. Eight x equals 24. Oh, that's easy. X has to be, the only way this works is x is 3. And we have a solution of 3 and -5. So if we were to graph these two equations, the lines would cross at 3, -5. All right. So that's kind of the general idea. Look for what's called the path of least resistance, the easiest way to get to eliminate something. Because you can figure out how to eliminate either one of these variables, but sometimes it's tougher, sometimes it's easier. All right. Let's do a third one. negative x plus 2y equals negative 2, and then 6x minus y equals negative 43. Okay. So I want you to do two things. Figure out how we can eliminate x, and then also figure out how you can eliminate y. So look at your coefficients. You've got negative 1 here and 6, and you've got 2 and negative 1 here. Okay, talk with your neighbor about it. Figure out how to get rid of x, and then also how to get rid of y. Again, you want opposites. And if you notice, you already have an advantage. Opposite signs, a negative and a positive and a negative. And so what I'm going to ask you is, to get rid of x, multiply which equation, the top or the bottom, and by what number for each of them, and how to do the same thing for y. Which equation and by what number? Okay, so let's start with x. If I want to get rid of x, do I multiply the top equation or the bottom equation? By what number? Positive 6. I would have negative 6 and 6. That's one option. The top by positive 6. If I want to get rid of y, which equation will I multiply?
The bottom.
The bottom by what number?
Positive 2.
Positive 2 here. Right? And that would get rid of this. Which one do you want to try? 6? Okay. Yeah, that won't change things too bad. Here you'd get negative 86 if we multiplied by 2. So let's do the top by 6. Top by 6. Here we go. Go ahead. Okay, so let's multiply that top equation by 6. And we're going to get negative 6x plus 12y equals negative 12. That wasn't too bad. And then we have 6x minus y, or 1y, equals negative 43. And let's eliminate x values again. All right. So negative 6x and 6x cancel. We are left with what? 12y minus y is 11y. And that equals negative 55. Ooh, okay, that's good. Because now we know that y equals what number? Negative 5 again. Did you notice that? Negative 5, negative 5, negative 5. Huh. Interesting. All right. So far we tried the one that we transformed. Then we tried one that we didn't. Let's try this one to figure out what x is. Let's redo this one over here. I just want to show you that you can pick any of the equations, even the original one before you transformed. Okay? So we're going to replace y with negative 5. So that means we've got negative 1x plus 2 times negative 5. And that equals negative 2. So all we did was just replace x with or y with negative 5. And let's simplify that. Negative 1x minus 10 equals negative 2. We'll add 10 to both sides. And we get negative 1x equals 8. So what's x going to be? Negative 8. So now we know it's negative 8, negative 5 for our solution. Okay. Last one. Okay. Number 4. Okay. So number 4 is going to be negative 8x minus 4y equals 4. And we got negative 5x minus y equals negative 11. Oh boy. So remember, we want to either get rid of x's or y's by getting opposite coefficients. So let's see if you can figure out how can we get opposite coefficients to get rid of x? How can we get opposite coefficients to get rid of y? Notice that everything's negative here. So to flip the sign, you are going to have to multiply through by a negative on either of them. What do you think is the smallest number we can get in common for x coefficients? Because we got 8 and 5. They don't have a common factor. That's really dipping into what we're going to do tomorrow. What's the common number they both divide into? 40. Yeah. Got to multiply this one by 5, this one by 8, and one of those two numbers has to be negative. Sometimes that's the case. You got to multiply both equations and transform both of them. But we could do better by eliminating y's. What can we do to eliminate a y? On the top or bottom? Bottom. Yeah. You're going to see that having something like a 1 or a negative 1 as a coefficient is kind of like a gift. Because, hey, with that, just multiply by whatever the other coefficient is, in this case 4, and if they're both the same sign, just make it negative. So the easier path is getting rid of y's by negative 4 there. That's the easier path. We always want to make it as easy on us as possible. So let's see, we're going to keep the top one the same. And this is the first one where we're not eliminating x's, by the way. Okay, and then we've got 20x plus 4y equals 44. All right, that's not too bad. Let's cancel. Okay, so this is going to become 12x. Negative 4y and 4y will cancel. And this is 48. So 12 times something equals 48. What's that something? 4. Not too bad. Sometimes it looks like, oh my God, I'm going to get a humongous answer. But it just works out. Not too bad. Okay, I'll let you guys decide. Which of our equations do you want to replace x with 4? Original that we transformed, or the transform one, or the original first equation? Doesn't matter. This one? Okay. Doesn't matter as long as you plug in correctly. So this time we're replacing x with 4. So this is going to be 20 times 4 plus 4y equals 44. Okay. And this is going to be 80. Oops. Try this one. 80 minus 4y, or plus 4y, sorry, equals 44. Get rid of this 80. And we get 4y. What's 44 plus negative 80? So 4 times something equals negative 36. What's y going to be? Negative 9. Okay. So that means our solution here is 4, negative 9. Okay. So today's assignment is going to be with these. Hold on. Let's pass out